Sonic the Hedgehog, the game and the character, is owned and copyrighted by Sega Corporation. I did not make this game and I did not create any of the characters. All footage in the following video is intended only for informative purposes. Please support Sega by buying their shit. Also, I'm really bad at this game. Some of the opinions expressed in this review may just be purely based on the fact that I suck ass. Some content may also be offensive to hardcore Sonic fans. Viewer discretion is advised. Hey everyone, this is Kados and welcome to the first episode of the Sonic the Hedgehog review series, where I'll be taking an in-depth look at the Sonic games released over the past 2 decades. Today I'm going to review the first Sonic the Hedgehog game in the series, the one that started it all, Sonic the Hedgehog. But first I want to explain to you the kind of gamer that I am, and the things that I like to see in video games, so bear with me for a moment. To start with, let me make one thing clear. I'm not a Sonic fanboy, so none of these reviews will be biased in any way, and I'm only going to be honest and tell it how it is. In saying that, I'm probably going to piss a lot of people off throughout the series, but that's just how it goes. Anyone watching this is allowed to have their own opinion. I'm not stopping you, just keep in mind that I'm allowed to have mine too. Just please keep a level of respect. I know how passionate some Sonic fans can be when expressing their opinion. Secondly, there are certain things I look for in a video game to judge if it's good or bad. Controls, physics, etc. But at the end of the day, I'm just a normal gamer who loves video games, no matter if they're good or bad. There are tons of reviewers out there at the moment who have had so much experience reviewing and criticizing games that they don't know how to just sit down and enjoy a game for what it is. Being kind of new to this thing, I'm not like that at all. If I think that a game is bad, I'm going to tell you about it. But I'm not going to nitpick and look for any tiny little detail that's going to turn me off the entire game. This is the basic formula I'll be using to review a game. I'll be making comments on the story, visuals, music and sounds, gameplay, and finally the most important criteria I'll be looking at. The one that ultimately decides if I recommend buying a game or not, and will act as an overall conclusion for the review. Did I have fun playing this game? Because, you know, that's the most important thing in the first place. The primary reason we should be playing video games is to have fun. I don't feel that there are enough game reviewers out there that take fun into consideration while reviewing a game. For me, I could be reviewing a game that has horrible visuals, a crappy storyline, and is harshly criticized by every game critic ever. But if I think the game is fun, then I'll recommend it. This is going to be the key point I'll be making in my reviews, and there's no better way to exercise this formula than by reviewing every main series Sonic game, starting from the first game.
What on earth am I getting myself into?
Sonic the Hedgehog. The Sonic series is either loved or hated by gamers. The franchise as a whole has definitely had its ups and downs over the years, and has sparked a lot of controversy within the fan base. The fans of the series are generally split up into 2 categories: fans who love the old school side-scrolling titles, and fans who love the newer 3D titles. Story time with Grandpa Kados! Back in the day when Nintendo were dominating the gaming market, there existed a console named the Sega Mega Drive, otherwise known as the Sega Genesis, struggling to get the attention of the masses. Sometime later, the Super Nintendo was released and stole all of the spotlight from the Mega Drive. Sega was in a lot of trouble, but soon realized that the Mega Drive had something that the SNES didn't. Blast Processing! A name that was clearly made up for marketing purposes, the Sega Mega Drive's Blast Processing allowed it to work a lot faster than the Super Nintendo ever could. Hence, in the year 1991, Sonic the Hedgehog was born, a blue hedgehog with an attitude who could roll around at the speed of sound. Sonic was a side-scroller of the likes that no one had ever seen before. The main goal was to get through the levels as fast as possible, collecting rings, defeating enemies, and flying around loops and other obstacles. With a hint of marketing and advertising, Sonic the Hedgehog would rise up and rival Nintendo's Mario, sparking some serious competition between Sega and Nintendo. So began the golden age of gaming. There are around 1 million different ports and emulations of this game, but for this review I'll be playing the Sega Mega Drive Ultimate Collection version for the Xbox 360. So I hope that clears some things up.
In an attempt to dominate the world, the evil Dr. Robotnik sets out to find the 6 Chaos Emeralds on South Island, turning its inhabitants into robot minions. Sonic sets out to rescue his friends and defeat Robotnik. And that's about it.
Seriously, that's it. There are no real cutscenes and the story is pretty much implied to the gameplay. I love how storylines were like this in video games back then, because most platforming games were made for kids. No one really cared too much about the plot. And a lot of people today still don't. I like a game that just throws you in and lets you figure out the story for yourself. And in the end, the story never really affected the experience anyway. The story never really mattered, as long as the game itself was good. It was a simpler time. it was a better time. If Sega wanted this game to sell, they needed it to look as good as a Super Nintendo game. And considering that the SNES had a lot more colours and other stuff to work with, that was going to be a huge challenge. But somehow they did it. This game was more vibrant and colourful than any other game around at the time. Edges and curves looked really smooth, Sonic has a lot of character and charm, the theme of each level is captured really well, and overall it just looks like a lot of effort was put into the visuals. I don't really have anything negative to say about the visuals at all. It just goes to show you that you don't have to have the best hardware in the world to make an impressive looking game. The other most appealing attribute of this game is the music and sound effects. I generally like the music that comes from the Mega Drive. Most Mega Drive games have that really gritty 90s feel to the music. But god damn, the music in Sonic the Hedgehog is fucking catchy on a whole new level. The title screen music is one of the most iconic themes in video game history. The theme for Green Hill Zone can get stuck in your head for days. My favourite music in the game has to be from Labyrinth Zone. Which is funny because my favourite sound effect is the sound it makes when you pop a bubble, which are only really in that zone. Labyrinth Zone just has good sound in general. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? The music is awesome overall and the sound effects as well. Nothing wrong with either of them. I have no bad criticism to give. 10 out of 10, GG. Just joking, I don't do ratings. Unlike the perfect visuals and music, the gameplay in Sonic the Hedgehog does have its flaws. In case you've been trapped in a cave for the last 23 years, let me outline some of the basic controls and objectives of this game, before I move on to the criticism. So Sonic has some very basic controls, kind of normal for platformers around that time. You've got the jump button, which also makes you become a ball when you're in midair, allowing you to kill most enemies no matter what angle you jump at them from. Yeah, I'd like to see you try that, Mario! The down button doubles as a duck button if you're idle, and a roll button if you're moving, giving you another way to kill enemies, and allowing you to gain momentum if you're going down a slope. And finally, and most obviously, you can make Sonic move left and right across the screen. Duh! Combine all of these controls and you have basic controls. The aim of the game is to simply get from point A to point B of each act. In between you'll face enemies which you can jump or roll into to defeat. Just be careful, some enemies only have certain weak points. If you jump into them from the wrong angle, you'll take a hit. To survive hits, you have to collect rings, as getting hit will cause you to drop every ring you've collected so far. If you get hit when you have no rings, you will die. So make sure you always have at least one, just in case. If you fall down a pit, drown, run out of time, or get squished, you'll die instantly. There are 3 power-ups which you can find hidden in little fucking television sets. A shield which allows you to take 1 hit free of charge. Running shoes which allows you to go really fast. And invincibility which gives you temporary invincibility. It protects you from everything except drowning, falling, getting squashed, running out of time, raging because I have no idea how I died there. You can also find lives and extra rings hidden around the levels. If you get 50 rings before you reach the end of Acts 1 or 2 of a zone without losing them, you have a chance to jump into a giant ring that sends you to a special stage. Just make sure you actually jump into the ring in time or else you'll lose your chance. Ah, god damn it. If you get over 50 rings in Act 3, no one's gonna give a shit, because instead of finding a portal, you'll just face the boss as usual. See look, I got like a million trillion rings here, and for what? Nothing! What a fucking waste of time! In these special stages, you can collect rings to earn extra continues. You can also find a Chaos Emerald by rubbing yourself against the wall until part of it breaks. Collecting all 6 Chaos Emeralds before you beat the game gives you a good ending. If not, you'll get this shitty ending. What another fucking waste of time. If you fail to make it to the special stage or you fail the special stage itself, there's no going back. The only thing you can do if you can't possibly beat all the stages in time, and you really want those Chaos Emeralds, is to start the whole game again. Okay, so now that we've got all that out of the way, let me tell you some of the problems I had playing this game. Firstly, the difficulty curve. For a game that was advertised as being a fast-paced platformer that allows you to race through levels as fast as you can, it really isn't true for most of the game. For example, Green Hill Zone was really fun. You can race through each of the acts taking different routes each time you play them. It was easy to achieve the 50 rings needed for the bonus round, it was fast-paced, it was fun, and it showed off that blast processing. But then you get to Marble Zone and the pace of the game slows right down. Ugh, come on. Not only is this level slow-paced, but it's one of the most trolly, difficult, and frustrating levels in the game. Or maybe it's just because I'm really terrible at the game. Whatever, I had trouble getting past it. Don't believe me? Here, take a look at this bullshit. There are awkwardly placed enemies everywhere. Even if there was a part where I thought I could go a little bit faster, I didn't want to risk it because I can't see that far in front of me. Who knows when those trolley developers are going to put an awkwardly placed enemy that you can't see and have no time to react to when it comes into sight. Maybe they could have zoomed out from Sonic just a little bit so I can see enemies just a little further ahead, so I don't have to go barging into them. But I know Sonic would look less attractive and more pixelated if they did that. Now because Marble Zone was so hard and only being the second level of the game, this would be enough for me to get frustrated, put the game down and not play it again for ages. It needs a slower difficulty curve, big time. Thank God the version I played had save states, otherwise I would have never beaten it. Because guess what? Unless you've earned to continue in a bonus round, if you lose all your lives and get a game over, the game resets. Labyrinth Zone isn't much better. Not only is it frustrating, but most of the stage is underwater. And when Sonic is underwater, he moves really slowly. Sometimes it just felt like the game itself was being laggy from the water effect. Whatever the case, it was very frustrating. Just make sure you always have enough oxygen, because Sonic will run out of air really quickly underwater. You can get more oxygen by popping bubbles which show up occasionally. But apart from the difficulty, I don't really have anything else against this game. It was really cleverly designed and to this day remains very unique in terms of gameplay. Flying into enemies and gaining momentum by rolling into a ball feels so satisfying when you actually have a chance to do it. There's plenty of platforming to do and bosses to defeat. I really just wish that I was good at this game so I could enjoy it more. But now we're at the important part of the review. Did I have fun with this game? Well, I did find it very frustrating. Usually I have fun playing frustrating games because it provides a good challenge. I feel accomplished when I beat a challenging game, so I have fun. It's like a healthy frustrating. But this wasn't a healthy frustrating. Getting a game over and getting sent back to the start of the game is never fun, especially when you've gotten really far in, die and lose all of your progress. The difficulty curve is also a bit of a turn-off, and I didn't really feel welcome to this game as a newcomer. I definitely need more practice. I'm going to say that I did have fun with this game overall, simply because I was using save states and level select cheats to get anywhere with it. I think the developers needed to give you a chance to get better at the game before you get thrown immediately into the hard stuff. But if you're new to these older Sonic games and you can't handle a tough challenge, this game probably isn't for you. You're going to get very frustrated very quickly. However, if I was a Sonic veteran, meaning that I've been playing these games since the 90s and I've had a lot more chance to practice, I could see myself having fun with this. I could also imagine how much fun I would have had playing this game around its release date, considering how good it was at the time. But maybe it hasn't aged as well as the other Sonic Mega Drive games. Or maybe instead of all of that, I'm just really bad at this particular game and there aren't any other excuses. So all up, newcomers might not have so much fun with this game as the long-time players will. If you're a collector, then you should really add this game to your collection as a way of appreciating Sonic's origin and reminding yourself of the time when gaming was in its golden age. So there's my opinion. Maybe one day I'll revisit this game after I've had a bit more practice. Feel free to leave your opinions of what you thought of this game in the comments, and stay tuned because in the next video I'll be reviewing the sequel, Sonic the Hedgehog 2. Does Sonic 2 have what it takes to be a true sequel? Find out next time, or play the game for yourself. No one's really stopping you.